In an earlier segment, I suggested that if I had a choice between two clients, one of whom had enough money for the initial retainer but was not creditworthy, and a second that was creditworthy but did not have enough money for the retainer, I would take the latter, not the former. In other words, I would want to deal with somebody who was creditworthy, who was reliable, who was ethical, who would do whatever they could to make sure that our bill was paid. Now, of course, none of us can account for a business going south or some, severe financial difficulties that were totally unexpected. But I would know at least that that person would do everything within their power, financially, emotionally, morally, ethically, to get me paid. That's the client I want to deal with. That's the client I want to have. But at the end of that segment, I suggested that there are some things that we can do to make sure that we get paid. Forget about the retainer issue. What do we need to do to get paid? Well, it all has to do with how we deal with our clients, the relationship that we create with our clients, the interaction that we have with our clients. And I talk about this more in my book, Collecting Your Fee, Getting Paid from Intake to Invoice, published by the American Bar Association. And if interested, either go to the American Bar Association website, order it, or go to lawbiz.com and order it from us, or Amazon if you choose. But the issue here that I want to highlight is that whether you get paid is a function that you can evaluate in the very first session that you have with your client, the intake session. And the metaphor that I like to use here is in speech therapy and speaking professionally. There's a common adage that goes something like, tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them if you want to be effective in speaking with people. Using that concept in terms of our practice and talking with our clients at the initial stage, what I suggest is you tell your clients what to expect. You create expectations with clients, and what I have found in many different scenarios, in dealing with bankers, in dealing with customers, in dealing with clients, that we set up expectations. It's not that we perform well or perform poorly. It's that we fail to meet the expectations that we ourselves have created. So if they come into your office, for example, with a certain set of expectations because they've seen, CSI Miami or NYPD or The Defenders, or The Practice or any of those programs, then it's our responsibility to educate that client or client-to-be. Tell the client what they can expect, what's the process, what's a likely outcome, and so forth. If they have a wild example, if they have a personal injury that you think is valued at $100,000, don't tell them it's valued at $800,000 because you want them as a client. Be realistic, be honest, be candid with them. You will win yourself a favor, you will win yourself a friend, you'll win yourself an advocate in their community for more referral business. So tell the client what to expect. Ask the client how that client wants to be communicated with. Do they want letters? Do they want telephone calls? Do they want email? Do they want nobody to know that you're representing them in this particular matter? Find out what their communication process is, what their wishes are, and then honor them. Don't treat everybody the same way. Another aspect that too few of us really are alert to, because we get busy, and hopefully you're very, very busy, is that we have to keep our client informed. That's one reason why it's so important to ask them how they want to receive their communication. Uh, and in one of our earlier segments, I talked about the status report. And I bring that up now because it's an easy way for you to communicate with the client, even if nothing has happened in that matter for the last 30 days. So if you want the status report, send us a note, and we'll honor that by sending you an email with an electronic status report. But keep the client informed. Let them know what's happening. And finally, something that most of us fail in one way or another. In fact, I was having a conversation about this very issue a little earlier today, is keep your promises. If you say you're going to be somewhere at 2 o'clock, be there at 2 o'clock. If you set up an appointment with your client for 4 o'clock, don't get busy on the telephone at 5 to 4 in a conversation that's going to take you to 4:30. Make sure that whatever you indicate to the client, you keep that promise. There is nothing worse than failed expectations or failed promises. It has nothing to do with how good you are. It has nothing to do with how great a settlement or outcome or negotiation you are performing for the client. The client will not be happy because you have failed to honor their expectations and keep promises that you made. That is the way you're going to get paid. That's the way to assure payment of your fee, no matter what the amount. Thanks for joining us today.